privilege of sampling the Golden Jubilee edition of the limited edition spice rum from the Grenada distillers, and I must say it's something that you should try. It is authentically Grenadian, but from the flavors to the aromas to the overall taste, the blend is great. It's light, it's golden like the Golden Jubilee, and I think you can make any collector's shelves anywhere in the world. Hats off to the Grenada distillers.
Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
Yeah! Whoa! Hey! Right Along Live, welcome to the ride. Welcome to Tuesday on the ride. How you doing? Everybody share the thing. Hello, riders. How you guys doing? Let me know if everything is good. Give me a thumbs up quick. We are live. Yeah, Lydia, how you doing? Joycelyn Noel, how are you? Guys, I'd like to welcome everyone back to Ride Along Live. Today, Tuesday, you already know the deal, right? It's your show, right? It's your show dedicated to you because there are so many things that's happening in your world, right? And as I walk down the street sometimes, I'm still in Grenada, back and forth, but I'm here now. And there are people that confront me and say, listen, there's some stuff I gotta get off my chest. I gotta get it out. Get calls from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Big up to the folks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Barbados, all over the world. So this is your show, guys. What's pissing you off? And today we have JohnCrow, who is going to be joining us shortly, because he has a lot on his mind as well, as always. Share the thing, guys. Velma, how you doing? Everybody share quick. We had a little bit of an issue earlier today because what happened was the notification was kind of having a bit of a problem. You know, Facebook does do sometimes. So in order for your friend to get notification, you might have to share it to them or tag them or something like that. So everybody tag a rider. Let me do that myself. Oh, yeah, Velma. I feel you. I feel you, Velma. I'll have a lot to say, right? All right, guys, hold on. Let me share. I gotta get this into some more riders' inbox. It's important. Nice. Hey, Christine, how you doing? All right, hold on. Hey, Glenda, big up yourself. Somebody tag a rider. It's what's pissing you off. And today, guys, you know what I want to talk about? The first thing that is really stuck in my craw, right? And it's been like upsetting me and pissing me off for the past couple weeks. Is this incident involving these 3 men, Grenadian, who escaped from prison, right? That's one of the things, guys, because there have been some updates and some legal documents and programs that I've been watching, and it is shocking the damage that this has already inflicted on the small island of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, right? It is shocking that this happened about, what, three weeks ago or so? And we still have international media talking about this and the damage that it is doing for the island. So I want to talk about that because a lot of things have been out in the international blogosphere. I don't know if you guys. Oh Lord, I'm not focused. Let me go back. All right. I don't know if you guys been paying attention to. Thank you, Lacey J. Yeah, I don't know if you guys paying attention to. But the truth and the fact about it is, guys, this crime, this international crime that caused international embarrassment to the RGPF and Grenada, we're now hearing from Crime TV that's saying that these young men, these 3 men who allegedly killed these 2 yachties, American yachties, right, after they escaped from prison in Grenada, they could ultimately face the death penalty in the US. Yeah. What they're saying is that there's an extradition treaty, right, amongst Grenada, the Caribbean as a whole, and the US. And they are of interest to the FBI, so much so that the FBI is now seeking or potentially will seek extradition to get them into the United States. And once they are in the United States, then they could file charges against them for the death of the 2 Americans that died aboard the yacht. And what they're saying, guys, what they're saying is that essentially these guys could do life in prison or even the death penalty in the United States, potentially. So the question is, will the Grenadian authority give them up to the feds? That is the question. And I promise you guys, next week, Monday, or one day in the week, I'll bring a lawyer in, because this is very practical and this is very probable, right? Because when you look at these guys, and we look back at the video that we saw with them in St. Vincent and the Grenadines after they was deported from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the guys and them don't feel like they have no remorse, and they acting in a certain kind of way, like they don't even see the magnitude of what they did, the damage of what they did. No, if they didn't take it serious, then they better take it serious. No, because as I said, the US is now, they are of interest to the FBI, who might quite possibly, and they say that they don't know why the FBI would not seek extradition for those guys to come into the United States. And once they're on American soil, they could be charged for the death of the 2 Americans, right? And what they're saying, the crime is so horrific because there are evidence that they raped the, I think her name is Kathy, sorry for getting her name incorrect, but the female on the yacht, there are evidence of rape, torture, and of course, murder. So, criminals are not the smartest bunch. Because I always say, guys, these guys already doing hard time for rape, alleged rape, and robbery in Grenada. They escalated it into what they did. No, the US have interest in them, and quite possibly they could face the death penalty in the US. I'm sure they wasn't thinking that it would have been so deep, right? But they have interest and extradition. So that is where we are at with that. Now, that's not pissing me off. What is pissing me off is it continued to be a major news item all over the world and causing international embarrassment to Grenada, because people that probably never heard about Grenada before, if they're hearing about Grenada for the first time, and that is what they're seeing, listen, it is not good for the country. So it still continues to be a headline item around the world. Let's jump in here with JohnCrow, who is on the road. Hopefully he could pull over, maybe sometimes, quite possibly.
Nice setup. That's a good setup. That's a good setup. That's a good setup. Listen to me.
Uh-huh.
The problem I have with this case.
Hold on, JohnCrow. Hold on one second. Are you on Bluetooth?
No.
Okay, all right, go ahead. I was hearing you kind of loud, but go ahead, JohnCrow.
I'm loud or I'm low?
No, you're loud. Go ahead, it's fine.
Okay. I'm on the speakerphone in the car.
Probably speakerphone is what's giving me the feedback.
Okay, so
go ahead, JohnCrow, go ahead.
No, what is upsetting is that we for the most part in Grenada,
right,
including the authorities are very nonchalant about it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's like I don't see. I don't know what's supposed to happen, but they're very it's like business as usual. This is not a business as usual situation. You know, I mean, I'm not even dealing with the death of it yet. I'm not dealing with the people because allegedly that they murdered or they're not. Well, they're missing. We know that they're missing, and
right.
I'm still dealing with it on a missing level. But the fact that we had 4, and I understand recently we had a 5th person escaping from police custody.
A 5th person when? When was that?
A 5th. I understand that there's a sometime last week I think it was. I mean, they're all back. They're all captured now. But
right.
we had the initial 3, and then the one in Grenville, and there was another one again after that. Even after all of that, I understand we still had a 5th person escaping from police custody.
I didn't hear that one, JohnCrow. I didn't hear about that one.
I'm going to confirm it for you later on.
I'm aware. Here's what I'm aware of. I'm aware of the 3 that escaped from the South St. George police station. So that's 3, and I'm also aware of the 1 that escaped from the magistrate court in Grenville. I'm not aware of a 5th one.
I understand there is a 5th one who was on the loose, but they were able to recapture that one, you know, almost within the same period. It didn't make the news, so to speak.
Well, it will make the news, JohnCrow, because if a 5th person was or escaped, this is big news. But I didn't hear anything about it.
I'm saying it did not make the national news. The story did not make the national news. They were able to recapture them, you know, shortly after they escaped.
Okay.
But I mean, that's not the.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ouch. That's not the concern. The concern is that we're dealing with this very nonchalantly. The authorities, that is. It's like it's no big deal. You know, it's like business as usual. You know, I mean, it's still in the international circuit, but you don't hear about it anymore in Grenada.
Right.
You see, I mean, and that has to be a worry. That should be a worry. You know, because I mean, we too just too vague. Another thing that happened recently, I get a press release or a copy of a press release put out by the National Democratic Congress, the women's arm of the National Democratic Congress, and on their letterhead, on their what's the word you use? I want to use the right word.
Press release.
On their press release, on their letterhead, they're stationary.
Okay, go ahead, JohnCrow. Yeah.
It says National Demographic Congress. National Demographic Congress. Now, I work in an organization, And anything that I write, anything that I put out, before it gets out, I have no less than 5 people who is going to watch it and go over it. That you don't go out until it goes through that where at least 5 persons seeing it and catching mistakes that I did not catch or that somebody else might have
Right.
caught, and then you know what I'm saying. So
Okay.
it has to go through a funnel. So I mean, how you
Right.
gonna
Right.
put out the National Democratic Congress? You're putting out a press release, or you're
Right.
putting out a statement, and you're putting it on your stationery. You're sending
Yeah.
it out with a
Yeah.
mistake
JohnCrow,
like that.
let's deal with one thing at a time. Let's deal with one thing at a time. We're talking about this is what's pissing me off, and we're starting with what's happening, what happened a few weeks ago, and that is still making international news and it's still creating international embarrassment. Right? It's still creating
Yes,
somewhat of an international embarrassment to Grenada. Now,
yes,
what I've heard and what we continue to hear is that the international world is viewing this thing probably much bigger than we are looking at it. Some media organization outside is pushing this, and not to say that it is influencing people, because when you hear people speak about Grenada, this is understandably this is a one-off thing. This don't happen in Grenada. But what we're seeing on the international media front, the picture that they're painting about this beautiful island is that this is something that it feels, and it's been shown as if it's something that is happening on a regular basis. So that's really pissing me off. So because we now have to do a lot of pushback and say that this is very random. This don't happen every day on the island. The fact that these 3 men escaped from captive and got on a boat and allegedly murdered the 2 yachties on there is something that we don't see on a regular basis. What is pissing me off about this, guys, is that they talk out there, and the notion that they're trying to push is that this is like something that happens in Grenada quite frequently. That is pissing me off, and it's causing us as Grenadians, as media practitioners, to push back against that narrative, because that is not our rock. That is not what we represent. And that is absolutely not something that we see on a regular basis. So we need to push back on that narrative. However, I'm very much in support of the FBI now have interest in this case and possibly might be pushing for extradition of this young man to get back to the US to face charges. That is something that is pissing me off, that they continue to talk about this as it is a fresh thing and it happens all the time, and we need to push back on it. JohnCrow, I want to dive deeper into this. Let's stay on this a little bit, JohnCrow. Let's stay on this a little bit, especially the information that we receive. What do you think the country, we as Grenadians, need to do right now
well,
at this point?
I mean, we have to constantly push the conversation in the direction of this is a one-off. This is not who we are. This is not what we're about. And that's how. But I'm looking to leadership, right?
Right.
The people who are in charge, the people who are in leadership, right? After I mean a real world-class demonstration of the 50th anniversary celebration, and
Right.
right on the heels of that come this thing. Now I'm calling me a theorist. I'm calling me a rabble rouser, but in the back of my head, I'm wondering though if that was not something that was staged, planned by some of the people who just want to create negative vibes for the current government. You know, because yes, not men, but people will commit crimes. But this is not a crime that is a customary thing in Grenada. You know, I don't remember the last time that we had a serious, on that level, serious incident of something like that happening where lives were lost. You know, or somebody stole a boat. I can't think of any other kind of situation. But in terms of this direct question, I think it's up to us to to constantly keep that story on the forefront, but on the forefront, extolling the virtues of our beautiful country.
Yes, and you know what that bring me back to, and that issue was not completely properly addressed, right?
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, hold on. I'm going to move with it. The issue with John T. When that came up with John T. and then Tyler Perry posted this information about Grenada, and it painted Grenada in that kind of negative light. I really don't find that we as a country push back hard enough so that to tell the world that this is not us. Now, this is a second piece of embarrassing news about the country. Just imagine if someone in the international world and they haven't heard about Grenada or they haven't been to Grenada, and the first thing that they hear is what Tyler Perry said a few months ago, and then they're hearing about this, right? We as Caribbean people, we as Grenadian in particular, is there something specific? Is there more that need to be done by the media? Is there something more that needs to be done by the government? Or who needs to speak up and make sure that when this thing pop up in the media, in international media, there is some information, a bulletin that could go out there that could respond to this type of negative and sometimes criticism of the country that is not even necessary, and it comes from a dangerous place. Hold on, JohnCrow, don't respond to that yet. Let me jump to the call. We got a call on the line. Caller, live. Where are you calling us from?
Toronto.
Toronto, go right ahead. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm calling here with some. Are you there?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Toronto. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling. I agree with JohnCrow to a certain point, and certain areas I'm in total disagreement.
Right.
When we speak about the authorities and so on, and I think when we hear that, it's leading to the government body.
Right.
We have to realize that the human minds are the human minds.
Right.
No one knows when one is going to commit a crime. It doesn't matter of what magnitude, lesser or greater.
Right.
So when people commit crimes, they don't think about other people. They want what they want. Remember, these guys were locked up. These guys had charges against them already.
Yeah.
They find a way to make an escape. Yes, there was a bit of negligence on the police.
Yes.
But as someone I spoke to who lives in the States, and she said, look, yes, people have to be vigilant, but sometimes you have a patient and you just look at the patient to make sure that they are there.
Right.
And next thing they come, the patient is on the floor, the patient escaped. Okay. That doesn't mean probably the police officer did not go and check on the guys.
Right.
But they saw a way to escape. They don't want to go to jail. They took that opportunity. They happened to find a yacht or whatever the people had.
Right.
With 2 people on board. It could have been 2 Grenadians on the ship.
Right.
It could have been anybody. And they took the opportunity to kidnap them or whatever. They're assumed dead. Yes, it's a bad thing for our country. But the whole thing about it is this. I think that sometimes the media makes a lot of hipro over things that escalates the thing.
Right.
Bigger. Because kidnapping and killing people is not strange to America.
Right.
It's not strange to America. If we look back to Trinidad a few years ago with those tourists that came and they were on the Marcus Bay, it happened over 2 or 3 times in Trinidad.
Right.
In recent years, and they were killed. We didn't hear all of this hipra. The reason why we're making this thing, because our country is a country that is peaceful.
Right.
Not used to this thing. So when it happens, it creates what I want to say, an atmosphere of shock.
Right.
Or surprise. So yes, we probably relate in a way that this is not our country. But the fact about it, to go into the thing as though, well, it's something that happens all the time, and the government don't take a stand. Look how fast the government catch the criminals. Look how fast. It's not a good thing for the country. Okay, JohnCrow said something, and I know JohnCrow because we went to school together. That I thought of also are some of these things set up to make the government look bad? Because the government don't have no control about what you, Junior, would do tomorrow or what I would do tomorrow. The prime minister and the police officers don't go to bed and say, well, okay, well, these two persons are going to commit a crime, so let us look for them, because I wouldn't allow you to do it. It happened, and it has happened. It's not good for our country. And the thing about it, I think if it was two Grenadians that happened to, you wouldn't hear all of this hippo, because it's America, and that's where sometimes we put America and make us look as though we have to be subject to them, submissive, because we make a big thing about Americans or white people.
Right.
If it happened to our own black people, yes, we make a little row, but we do not do all of this sort of thing. Could have happened to two Grenadians. It could have happened to anybody else out there. It's two Americans. Okay, they're arrested.
Toronto.
They sent them to jail. I think the government would do what they have to do, especially if the people were murdered in Grenada waters. And so on. So and do all kinds of things all over the world. Do you extradite them to come back to the country? No. We should deal with our things in our own way. And that's the only thing that I am not happy with, because we need to take control of our thing for ourselves.
All right, caller.
Because I don't know, but I'm a little bit saying, I hear what JohnCrow is saying, but let us deal with our things in our way. It was the same thing with America. Reagan getting involved in bishop business, and look at what happened in Grenada. Let Grenada deal with Grenada situations. And that's as much as I have to say for now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, caller. JohnCrow, you were saying?
No, I was going to, he said that, that whatever he said just now, in relationship to white, because they're Americans, I want to put it on a record. Maybe he does not know that because he lives in Toronto. Oscar Bartholomew was killed almost 20 years ago now, right? And I've been one of the people who have been on the forefront on Oscar's death. And Oscar is a Grenadian Canadian who came from Canada to his home in Grenada and was killed. As a matter of fact, ironically enough, he was killed during this NDC administration, previous NDC administration, right? And up till this day, we have yet to have a criminal trial for Oscar Bartholomew.
Right.
Yes, there have been civil and other kinds of litigations that went on, and the family got some money, and etc. etc. So my noise is not about American versus. My noise is about the image that this has created for the country, and the difficulty it is for us to put out the kind of language and put out the kind of information to counter the negative noise. There's a lot of negative noise that the Grenadian. Okay, you asked the question before. What can we do? We have a tourism authority division. They should be in overdrive, pushing the narrative, constantly changing the narrative. And this is my example. Coca-Cola is one of the most recognizable products on the planet. But yet, Coca-Cola spends millions of dollars every year, yes, to push the product. Because if they don't do that, they know that Pepsi and others like Pepsi will take over the market share. Grenada and the Grenadian government, and I'm not saying Grenadian government as in like NDC party. I'm saying whomever is the Grenadian government we are the Grenadian government, and we have to be pushing the narrative to change to counter that negative dialogue that is out there right now, and constantly, every opportunity that we get. So you're talking to your friends, or you're talking to somebody who's saying that they want to go to visit Grenada, but I'm not sure if I could, should go. No, you are in your little space, in your little knowledge, in your little influence, have to figure out and use the language to let folk know that it is safe, and it is simple, and it is safe, yes, and it is quite convenient to still visit the island and still enjoy the island, etc., etc. I talk about the tourism authority, the public relations division of whatever the government has, whoever that is. I don't know who they have as the PR person, but that department or that arm should be working overtime, yeah, to get these
create, right? So you took to get the narrative, to set the narrative. You
right,
say,
and to constantly keep it.
What role does the media play, right? Because oftentimes I heard a correlation that said that if you look at places like Barbados, when there are incidents of crime in Barbados, I don't know if it was meant to mean that the Bajan authorities do not promote it and talk about it in ways that other people are speaking about it, as to deter visitors or as to sort of, negatively promote the country. So is it that the media have a role to play in this, or you're saying that the government as a whole should have an arm to basically put out information to counteract negative information that is going out there?
Okay, so the Grenada government owns or has major shares in GBN. The Grenadian government also has major shares in MTV, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take you back. I'll take you back 5 minutes. When the New Jewel movement was a startup, they didn't have the sophistication that we have today, but they were able to get the word out and keep the word out with the remember the Jewel newspaper, the mimeograph paper that they came out once a week with. That's all they had, and they were able to keep, if you will, their story front and center. Talking about what is the media's role. The media role is to do what media does. Media is to report news, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't think the media's role is to be the public relations arm for the government. I don't know Barbados. I don't know anything of Barbados in terms of what they do and how they do it. But what I do know is that I would not put the onus on the media to get the word out. But the government has its apparatus or apparatuses, whatever the plural of apparatus is. I'm not remember now. But they have their arm that is supposed to be taking care of that. So, be it MTV, I don't know if they have any newspaper, be it press releases, be it getting featured on American TV or international TV, or on international radio and so on, getting featured, from on a regular basis. This is why whomever it is, again, if they have that kind of a people in place who knows what to do and how to infiltrate and talk to those kinds of areas, take out a full page ad in the New York Times, take out a full page ad in the major publications wherever your market share is, to get people, to keep that narrative of safety and security in Grenada on a regular basis. But that is where the if you will, those who's getting paid big money, that's their job. I mean, the media, quote unquote, the media as the media is, they don't get paid to promote the country.
Right, guys. This is what's pissing you off, and let me know what's pissing you off here. You could call in right now and let's talk. The first thing that I wanted to talk about that. Something that's been on my mind is that the negative media coverage that the country have been getting internationally, and the apparent negative impact that it may have, and who's responsible for coming out and talking about it or counteracting information, and putting that out. We also learned, as I said earlier, that it's quite possible that the U.S. authorities have a vested interest in these three individuals. I'm doing a vlog on this. I have the video that was done by Crime TV, and they basically spoke on why the U.S. authority have serious need for these guys to go on trial in the U.S. They're talking about quite possibly, if they were to be extradited to the U.S., these three men would face life, potentially life in prison, or even the death penalty. That much that they're speaking about. We got another caller on the line. Caller, you live? Where are you calling us from?
Yes, it's me again. Just a minute or two.
Yes.
Now, I'm calling back because I think we're actually straying away from the source of the whole thing that happened here.
Right.
Number one, I'm saying that the media, when you look at the news, because I follow that every day. I'm in Canada, but I'm practically living in Grenada because I'm on Grenada News 24/7.
Right.
The way you get people, for instance, like Jenny Simon and some of these people and them, and the things that they are saying, they are making, this is a mountain. We cannot call it a molehill, but I still use the analogy, a mountain out of a molehill. The crime was already done. They are in custody. We cannot to blame anybody besides the people with the wicked mind. We talk about extraditing them to the United States and all of these different things. I really don't see why that should be, because the crime happened in Grenada. JohnCrow mentioned Bartholomew. Bartholomew doesn't live in far from where I am right now. Okay, so I know about the situation. That scenario to me was a little bit different. It was police officers that beat that guy to the point where he ended up dying. So that the scenario is completely different.
Right.
Okay. Yes, I know the Canadian government did something and they got a few $1 million or whatever. Yes, if that case this police have not yet been brought to trial, where I agree, JohnCrow, big negligence, big negative look on the country. But now with this particular case,
right,
the guys were apprehended. They are in jail. What more do they want the government or anybody to do? We just have to wait until the process takes effect, until they are tried and sentenced for however long. Now, coming back to the extradition, let us not act naive as though we don't know. These are three black men extradited to America for killing two white people. We know that if they're in a state where the death penalty exists,
yes,
we know what's going to happen.
Yes.
We know what's going to happen to them. Why do we need to take all criminals to send to the states to be tried? When the states have murders every single day.
Yes.
Kidnapping, all of this every single day. You don't hear, you hear it from CNN and a few places. But do they make this hooper thing? No. The school killings and all of these different massive things like that.
Right.
Yes. You hear something, and before you know it, Junior, as you very well know, because you live in the States. Before you know it, boom, it dies down as a heavy snowfall just come and hit the hot streets,
yes,
and it dies down.
True.
we are making so much more out of this, and which there is nothing more you can make out of murder,
Right.
because that's the climax of crime.
Right.
But the media, when you hear Jenny Simon on these people and them, it's like they hate Grenada, because that's the messages that comes across, and that is what would make the foreigners feel negative about Grenada. It's not basically the crime that happened, because the world knows that Grenada is one of the safest countries in the world.
Right.
They say it all the time. They know that it's one of the safest countries in the world to go. We just came from Grenada. That's the first time my wife and daughter have been to Grenada, and they talk about the people. But that doesn't mean we wouldn't have crimes.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we wouldn't have. As the world develops, as the world becomes more civilized, you would eventually see increasing crimes wherever around the world. You would see it, because TV and internet are the biggest influence to everybody, whether you're child or adult. Right. So we, as a country, we have to. I agree with JohnCrow in that way. Do more ads to promote the country. Do more. Show different things to promote the country. JohnCrow is perfectly right. And the negative medias out there, if they think they're doing a good for the country, they're doing a bad. And then they cannot, because they're actually making it look as though the NDC is important, that is happening. It didn't take a person 2 years for the mind to be bad to make them up to be a criminal.
Right.
So if they do what they do, that's the mindset from a long time ago.
Okay.
They want to escape, and they try to escape, and they figure, I'm going to get caught. So, you know something, let me kill let us say not kill, allegedly kill the people, throw them somewhere or whatever, and we could go in a country and hide. It did not happen. They were caught. Let the Grenada government deal with the situation, and let them put laws in place, change the laws.
Right.
And make it more serious, that people will be scared to commit certain crimes. But what I'm saying, the people that are slandering and making all these things to make our country look as though it's that bad. Our country is very safe.
Right.
It's very safe.
Well, it goes back to
it
speaks to the intention of a lot of people, because that's one of the topic I wanted to touch on again, right? Because
yes,
in the case of crime, what we're seeing is a depoliticization of every single thing. Like, I mean, people see as an opportunity to blame the next person for what's happening now. And we're seeing that everything is politicized. Everything is politicized. And that is the problem, because we're not getting to the core. We're not actually getting to the core of the problem. So let us come together and fix it. Everybody looking at crime as an opportunity. Oh, crime happened at this point in time, so let us see how we could take advantage of this time frame that we're living in, because this is happening now. And I'm saying, if you love this country and you love what we are and love what we represent, you would genuinely come together and see how you could do whatever you could do as a political party, as an individual, as a media entity, what have you, and see whatever little you could do to help the situation. But we're not seeing that. We're seeing it being politicized and the blame game, and that is not fixing the problem. Right? Hold on. JohnCrow, you were saying?
Caller, what's the caller's name? Is the caller still online?
Yeah, he's still online.
Caller, what's your name?
You know me well. I don't want to give my name.
Okay, you know him well.
You don't want to give your name. All right. Okay. All right. But hear me out, please. I want you to please understand something.
I'll give you a hint and you'll get the name.
No. We don't have to play that game. No, you're a grown man. When you leave your house, you grew up in Grenada. When you leave home, your parents or your grandparents or your auntie or your uncle will say to you, don't go and spoil the family name, you know. You remember that warning?
Exactly.
Okay. So when a crime is committed in any country, whether it premeditated or happenstance, that crime was committed by the individual. the people who would be the ones responsible for that crime, as we're finding out now, because the family becomes, the family name is right now tarnished because of this crime that was committed by these individuals. I'm not dealing with it on a tourist level, on a foreigner level, on a white people level. I'm dealing with it on the image of the country is tarnished because of this crime. And I'm saying that our leadership is not holding up their end of the bargain to put, to really get their hands on grasping the bull by the horn, so to speak, and making sure that the counter narrative is out there. You're sitting back and waiting for something to happen, and then we're reacting. And that is what I'm seeing. When you mention people and you're talking, I don't even know who Jenny Simon is, but whoever that is, and whatever she's saying or not saying, I'm looking at it from the point of view that people have they have nowadays. In Uncle Gary days you couldn't talk. In the days of the on the Jewel movement you couldn't talk, right? Even the previous administration to a certain degree, when he said don't go there, you couldn't talk. So the people who are talking and saying what they're saying, that is their right to do that. And they're coming in from their point of view. Whatever they're saying, I don't know. But whatever it is that you perceive to be a negative, that's your perception, right? I don't know any Grenadian who do not like the country or do not like Grenada and will put out negative things to hurt Grenada, other than the criminals. So and there's another thing I want to say to you, well, not just you, but in general. An incident happens, or whatever it is that happens. It's not that it's bad that it happened, but it's how we handle it is really the real problem. That's where the real issue becomes. How you choose to handle it. So that a lot of times when these things happen, we do not come up with the right kind of responses. And then we blame everybody else but the people who are supposedly and are responsible for coming up with the right kind of response.
Right. All right. Stick a pin right there, JohnCrow. I want to play back this piece of clip, right? This speaks to what one of the topic that the topic that we're speaking about right now. And it has to do with the extradition, the possible extradition or the request for extradition from the U.S. Check this out. Listen to this.
It truly is just awful. It's incomprehensible.
Authorities now say this American woman who vanished while sailing the Caribbean seas was raped before she and her husband were murdered and thrown overboard by 3 escaped criminals.
It is beyond horrific what the allegations are, and definitely those individuals who committed these offenses need to be brought to justice.
It's a tragic story law and crime has been following since the start, when on February 18th, all communication was cut off between this married couple and the rest of the world. 71-year-old Kathleen Brandel and 66-year-old Ralph Hendry permanently lived aboard this yacht, the Simplicity. The pair sold their home in Virginia back in 2013 after Kathy retired from her career as a real estate agent. They sailed around the world together as Ralph worked from their yacht as a financial advisor. But when communication went dark in mid-February, their families knew something was off. The pair were last seen aboard Simplicity by a neighbor at a dock in Grenada. Days later, on February 21st, their boat was found about 80 miles from where it was last seen. Aboard, the ship had been ransacked, and there was a red substance that appeared to be blood. But Kathy and Ralph were nowhere to be found. Investigators now say these 3 men are responsible for the American couple's murders. According to criminal defense attorney Matthew Timpanik, they could be up against murder charges in the United States.
Well, definitely with this case, it's about whether international law versus the United States law. And we're trying to figure out what would apply in this case. Obviously, that these individuals can be tried in Grenada. But most people do not know that they can also be tried in the United States as long as they are physically present in the United States. How you would do that is the Justice Department gets a extradition order bringing them to the United States to charge them with the same crimes.
Investigators say it was a group of escaped
Right. So that is to the topic that we were speaking about in terms of the State Department, the FBI having major interest in this particular case, having these guys extradited or possibly extradited to the US to face charges and possibly lifetime or even the death penalty in the US. That is the narrative right now. We got a call on the line. Caller live, where are you calling us from?
Yes, Junior.
Hey, how are you doing, my
David
friend?
here.
Hey, David. Yes, you're
I'm
live.
doing very well.
You're live on the air.
I'm doing very well. Okay, thank you. I just heard that that incident took place around the 18th of February.
Yes.
When was the first time that the police department or the government came forward to speak about it?
Well,
Or gave a press conference about it? Do you have any idea about how long afterwards?
So initially, there was a press conference that was done by the RGPF. The Commissioner of Police and the Assistant Commissioner of Police made an appearance and a press conference on that. The Prime Minister spoke.
You have the date?
I don't have the exact date. I could find that for you. But it was within that following week, I believe. The
following week. I'm glad you say that. I think you're right. I was in Grenada when the incident took place.
Right.
Now I'm listening to JohnCrow also, and the brother from Canada.
Yes.
They both have valid points, but what is happening, or what I think is happening, is that we are not getting the press conference immediately.
Right.
Therefore, you're leaving so much room for the court of public opinion to happen or take place and give their decision on what's happening before we can push away all the negative our brother JohnCrow is speaking about.
Right.
You see, now we have to come back even heavier because people will give their opinion on everything.
Right.
For example, just quick example, just a segue, what took place on last Sunday with the bodies being found at the hotel, the Radisson Hotel. Okay? I communicated immediately with one of the ministers. How could you have such a thing happening right there, drowned in? You're not even sure if it's a drowned in that took place, but because the body was found in the water by two Americans again. I wonder who's going to try them, but who will try the accused? But you also have where immediately that in that report, I'm looking at where they say Lockwood took away the body.
Uh-huh.
You know, they had about 5 bags of evidence. Do we know if there were gunshots included? Blunt impacts? The body was just dumped there? And things like that. That we need to do. And did we also have, or did we receive a press report on this situation already? People are putting their judgment in place.
Right.
And then we have to come in with what JohnCrow said about the tourism and other things like that to try to remove this kind of thing on Grenada. We don't like it, but it's been happening. Again, when it took place with the young lady in Carriacou, the teenage child who died. We do not get an early press conference on these things.
Right.
And that's what happens all the time. We have the 2 deaths that took place on the beach. We don't know if somebody shot them or what happened at that time.
Right.
We just put our own spin on it. The body given to a funeral home. We do not have a morgue by the police authority where you can secure this body is not being tampered with until the evidence or the investigation is completed. And I mean, I had to text the minister on this. What's going on?
Right.
It happened with a young lady. It happened with the 2 deaths and it keeps happening. They just found another part of the body. Where did this death take place? I just heard in the news that you were the clip that you were playing. Did it happen in international waters? We don't know. Did these people got killed by this young man? We don't know. So we are lacking in a lot of areas here.
Right. Well,
go ahead, man.
One person might say that if they don't have the information in relation to in an open investigation, there might be information that they cannot convey to the general public or do not want to release to the general public. At this point,
Immediately, sorry for cutting you, Julia, but immediately you have to come to the forefront and give a press conference, tell them what you know, and let them know you will give them further information on the situation. Don't let them come with the code of public opinions, or else we're being judged in the way, and then we have to spend the money, the Coca-Cola money, to prevent Pepsi.
right,
You understand?
right.
That's what's happening there. They have to come forward now to deal with all the situations that's happening.
Right. John
They
Crow,
have to.
hold on. John Crow, listen. John Crow, what are you saying?
No, I'm backing him. I'm backing up this caller. Remember what I said at the very beginning,
Williams.
right?
It's David
This is
Williams.
David
Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a call. You don't sound like you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have a call. But no, I'm saying that is what I said initially, that we're too vague in how we manage these things. And I said that just a few minutes ago, and I said, it's not when the incident will happen, and we can't prevent the incident from happening, but it's how we manage the incident after it happens, how we counter those events, those negative events. Because what's happening is we are reacting as opposed to being proactive. We're not ahead of the story. The story is ahead of us, right? I mean, okay, like I'm glad you bring up the drowning incident in the Radisson. Now, I don't expect the police to be on the.
We're not sure if it's drunk then. We're not sure
Right.
if it's drunk again. Let's
Alleged.
go like
We have to say the
It could have been
alleged.
shot
We have to
and
say
dumped.
alleged.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Right.
We
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm saying the incident that took place at the Radisson, right? No, you cannot sit down a whole 2 weeks without saying anything. Okay, you don't have to put out. You don't have to put out. You cannot put out information that you don't have. But ladies and gentlemen, this incident took place. The information we're still gathering information. As soon as we know for sure what is happening, we'll bring it back. But as of now, so and so happened, where it happened, when it happened, etc. And you leave it at that until the investigation has run its course. But in Grenada, we have this habit. Well, you can't talk about it because the police is still investigating. The police still investigating freaking Oscar Barthelemy is dead.
Police should.
Okay.
The police should be given an early report to stop these things. It happened with the young man on the beach again, and in school they taught us that when gay people have sex, they usually have this method of choking each other. We study that in forensic pathology. But I'm just saying, these little things, people can run with it and say he drowned or he choked or what happened. You know.
But you remember?
Government.
Hold on, John. Let you finish. Go ahead, David. John,
the police department, commissioner and whoever who that department, and the government, they have a responsibility to us. They have to report to us as soon as they get something's going on, and that's all I got to say in that case.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David. Thank you so much, David. John, what you were saying?
You remember the Central Park rough sex death where was the young man and the young lady? I think he choked her and
was it the Central Park 5? Was
no, the preppy, what they call it, they call it the preppy murder.
Okay.
But again, it was a situation where when it happened, there was no. I mean, initially we did not know how it happened or exactly what happened, but we know that this murder took place in Central Park with this young man and this young lady. Later on we find out that choking was involved, and he ended up, during the trial, of course, more information came out. But the whole idea of sitting on your hands and not doing anything because you don't have information, damn it, you are the police department and you are the investigating. Okay, just slide up this one. I'm gonna get the car right here. No problem, Papi. You have a responsibility. You have a responsibility of investigating the crime. and reporting that to your population as soon as possible. We are too lackadaisical. We're too vai-que-vai, to use a Grenadian word. We're too ordinary. Everything is just relaxed in this. Today, the world is moving at a much faster pace. People are like the caller said. People are going to form their own opinions because they don't have the information. They don't have information. Yes, they're going to do whatever investigation that they're capable of. But hello.
Yeah.
But
I have another caller. Caller, hello. Caller, you live? Hold on, we have another caller on the line. Stand by, guys. Stand by. We have another caller. Right along live, this is what's pissing you off. And if there's something on your chest you need to get off your chest, you could call us live. Caller, go right ahead.
Hi, Junior. Good evening. How are you?
Hey, good evening. Yes, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Let me ask JohnCrow a question. Did I hear he say that the image of the country is being tarnished because of the isolated incident?
Isolated.
Did he say that?
Did you say isolated?
Yes. Yes. That's
Did the caller say isolated?
I sure did.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let me bring you back to 2005. In 2005, Natalie Holloway, American student, well, she graduated from high school. It was a teenager, went to Aruba with a group of friends, and she got killed.
Yeah.
Right? In 2012, the judge declared her legally dead because they couldn't find her body.
Right.
Last year, June of 2023, they extradited the killer back to the States and charged him, right? So between 2005 and 2024, people still going to Aruba, right? And that case, that incident, and it was an isolated incident, and this was all over the news every minute of the day. CNN was carrying this case until this guy came up. So I don't think that isolated incident in Grenada is going to tarnish Grenada, right?
Caller, I cannot disagree with you or argue with you one way or the other. I'm not the one who is making that decision as to how tarnished or not tarnished the country is. It is having a negative. The Aruba case, that was one of the incidents I was going to mention earlier, but you happened to bring it in before I was able to say it. That the guy, if you will remember, the guy who they accused of killing that girl, he was hounded from Aruba to Brazil to Argentina to wherever he went. They was on his ass like white and rice.
He had went back to Peru.
Until they killed him, until he got killed, whatever happened to him. The point I'm making with you.
Hold on.
No, he's in the United States. He came back here on June 2023. The reason why he came here, he said it was easier to be in jail over here than in Aruba, because it's hard times in Aruba. He said he's going to get 3 square meals in the United States. And plus, he was charged with bank fraud because the mom was sending him money so that he would tell her where the body of his daughter was. So I say all this to say, Aruba still have, foreigners going there every year. Right. My old supervisor goes there every 3 times a year. My old director goes there 3 times a year. Every year since this happened. Last week, Junior, I called and I told you, one of my co-workers, She's the one that brought that to my attention with the killing in Grenada.
Right.
And she said that is just an isolated incident. Her and 19 of her family members goes there every year, twice, 3 times a year. Her son goes there about 5 times a year. And she said that would never stop her from going to Grenada.
Right.
So while we as we as Grenadians saying that no, Grenada is bad and no, Grenada is this, I have 20 people, Americans, that's saying that's just an isolated incident. I'm still gonna go.
Right. And here's one thing that I think that we need to also address, right? America in the position to, or is usually in the position to tell its visitors or people coming in from the States not to go to this particular country. They have this red alert for Jamaica and Trinidad and these Caribbean countries. But when you look in America itself, in places in America where there is so much rampant killing, multi-murders, right? So is America in any position to tell anyone not to go to a particular place when the crime rate in America itself is so drastically high? They don't stand and tell people not to go to Jamaica because it is way higher in New York and in other states in the United States as well. The crime rate is much higher than what we see in Jamaica and Trinidad.
And Junior, here's what that also you should take into consideration. America has the infrastructure where they could do that. They could discourage people from going, and they could keep a story alive because the infrastructure is in place for that to happen.
Right.
Right. We don't have the luxury of that kind of resource. When I talk about the counter narrative,
right,
that's all we have, and that's what we have to use to we have to put out that counter narrative in order to counter the big bad American media machine, and to let people know that we open for business.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a one-off thing, isolated, yes, and people will still come to Grenada, yes, but nonetheless, the negative is still is there, and you can't ignore it.
Yeah, true. Guys, I was telling you earlier, this is, of course, what's pissing you off. I want to know what's on your mind. Okay, well, let me just finish. Caller, that was all? Okay. All right, caller hung up. 718-701-5720. This is what's pissing you off. Let me know what's on your mind. It's Tuesday, and that's what we do on Tuesday. We want to hear from you what's on your mind. We were speaking earlier about this incident that is now getting global attention. What happened in Grenada? We were saying that this possibly would not even affect the tourism product of Grenada because look what happened in other countries. It doesn't necessarily affect them. And we're checking a call. Caller made a very, very valid point there earlier. What we are also looking at is the possibility of the U.S. seeking extradition of those 3 men to the United States to stand trial there. This is a law and crime segment that was published. Take a look at the second part.
With these types of cases, this is not just they were robbed and they took their yacht. They were kidnapped, she was raped, and then they were murdered and thrown overboard off their vessel. It is beyond horrific what the allegations are, and definitely those individuals who committed these offenses need to be brought to justice.
So far, investigators have not found Kathy or Ralph's bodies. Even still, they say Kathy was raped before her death. I'm also wondering how investigators would come to that determination without having her body.
What I can think of potentially is they made statements to the effect, confessions if it were, because without a body and without being able to perform a rape kit, outside of an eyewitness who allegedly saw it, or video footage from inside the boat, which we do not know is present, I have to think one of them made statements to that effect, confessing to the alleged crime.
The 3 suspects in this case were arrested not long after Simplicity was found. Tympanic believes their criminal history led investigators straight to them.
All right, guys. So this is what's pissing you off, and that was a clip again that was published on Law and Crime, speaking about these 3 men and how they could possibly be charged with offenses, given possibly even as much as the death penalty if brought into the United States to stand trial for the death of these 2 yachties. Right along live, we're taking your call. We have JohnCrow, who is chatting with us. JohnCrow, are you still there? Okay. All right, I guess we disconnected from JohnCrow. 718-701-5720, guys. Let us jump back to the phone lines and find out what's pissing you off. Caller, what's pissing you off?
Junior, you know what's pissing me off? Real pissing me off as Grenadians. I don't know, Junior, something about our authenticity. It's like we have a problem with keeping our authenticity. Jab. I see so many persons, showcasing it. We had a cultural activity recently in Jamaica, and Trinidad had people painted in black. And I was like, what is this? This is so cool. Yeah. And they was like, oh, this is jab, it's Trinidad culture. And I was like, okay, as if I was so unaware. And then now, I am currently working on a spice program here in Jamaica, where they're trying to restore the spices and stuff. And the energy that is put into it, the money that is pumped into it, the resources, the technocrats, and all of us, like, we have to be on our ball. And I said, but we are the Isle. I don't know what happened to the Isle of Spice. All of a sudden, we are pure Grenada. Yeah. And we had something recently where we were supposed to be having Spice revamp. And it's like, I just don't hear nothing about it again. Are these plants checked on? Did they check to see if these plants are growing, or we just give them out and like that's it? Like, this is where we stop. And I really thought about it. Even looking at Intercal, some persons might be annoyed. I can't really knock the commentators. They did an amazing job, I guess, to their ability. I can't shut them down because I'm not a commentator. I just felt as if so many other stuff could have spoken about. Was the athlete's personal time? Right. Was their season's best? Comparing to the other Caribbean islands, who is on the Caribbean team? And I don't know, sometimes I feel as if, like, living on the outside in the diaspora, yeah, I feel as if we give such a poor representation of ourselves sometimes. Right. And it really is getting on my nerves right now. And I'm not bashing Grenada. I'm a Grenadian, a proud Grenadian. But I just feel like we really need to probably do some civil sessions similar to like how we had the town hall meetings, and let people really gain that pride. Like, let's really stick to just building us and our culture and stop trying to just lash out everything that is passing by. That's it for me right now.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Yeah. 718-701-5720. This is what's pissing you off on a Tuesday. Let me know what's pissing you off, guys. All right, so here are what some of the viewers posted earlier when we asked the question, what's pissing you off? All right. Harmelin says nothing pissing off today. Harmelin, we're happy. Nothing is pissing you off today. Nisha also said, not today. She chooses to protect her peace, so she don't have anything pissing off today. Rachel James is saying, nah, I ain't gonna read that one. All right. Kimmy, I would say the same thing like I said last week. The lady put dumpling in my plate after I said no dumpling. That's pissing Kimmy off, boy. Slims, my dog was poisoned and now my fowl are falling. one by one because they ate the poison too. Ooh. Kibo is pissed off because he's single and someone out there is still haunting him. Okay. What's pissing you off? Margaret said every time there is a death, there's crime related. There's crime related, which is few compared to other countries. People always saying, what's going on in Grenada? All right, Janelle is saying, I need a piece of land from government. Yeah, that's kind of pissing off. What's pissing you off? 718-701-5720, guys. We'll be right back. Don't move.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up. Several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Yeah, the NLA. Yeah, you can play the games on them online. What's pissing you off? Glenda is saying the unpainted speed bumps in Carriacou. Yeah. Glennis is saying the gambling that's taking place right next to me. Now, this is a big problem, guys. This is a major problem. And there had to be some restriction. To prevent people from going overboard with this gambling thing. It's a serious pandemic right now. People are spending way too much of their time and money when they could basically take care of their family. And I'm talking about the little gambling that goes on the side of the street. Young men by bus stops, pulling up and, all over the place, guys. It's a problem. It's an epidemic. What's pissing Bill Langine off? He says the crime in Grenada. Nicola, Grenadian who like to post American news, but when they post their news, they say we're trying to spoil their name. People who interact on social media but always screenshotting comments or status to take back to their group chats. That does piss me off. Yeah. What's pissing Veronica off? Veronica say things are getting from bad to worse. Can't even get a simple blood test at the government lab in Grenada. Lord have mercy. Roxy Batiste is saying that the piece of something. Oh no, that's going on in Grenada. What's pissing Crystal off? Lazy people. Nisha says that rape and molestation of the young innocent child in Carriacou, that is pissing her off. The youth in Grenada are taking violence for a game now. Overbearing. Guys, continue to post what's pissing you off. And on Tuesday, we talk about it. You call, you get to speak live about it. We're giving you a chance to get all of that dirt and bring it all up, right? What's pissing you off every Tuesday right here on Right Along Live. Keep posting, guys. Dolores says what pissing off now is unruly people. Pissing off. All right, guys, let me give you something that is not going to piss you off now. This should not piss you off. This should actually make you happy. All right, this is going to make you happy. I promise you. Guys, this is good news to make you happy. All right, you ready for it? Yes, if you have not yet booked an excursion with Ride, We are giving you an opportunity right now, guys, within the hour from up until 8 o'clock. If you book your excursion, if you call in and book your excursion within the next hour, you get additional $50 off. So you only pay $200 for the excursion. On this coming Sunday, we're riding in St. Patrick. So if you call in to register within the next half an hour up until 8 o'clock, you only pay $200, and this excursion includes food, drinks, and the whole nine. All right, the whole nine. This is Riders Excursion Rentals and Tours, and of course, you can rent your e-bikes inside the Esplanade Mall. This should not piss you off. This should make you feel happy. So call within the next half an hour, guys, and you get instant $50 off because you're a true rider. You're a true rider. This should not piss you off.
Initially said that you thought the Supreme Court would have a difficult time. Your quote I looked up today was avoiding the consequence of the plain language of the 14th Amendment. It was obviously a 9-0 call today. So I wonder, what you made of this ruling and if you feel differently now.
But I'm certainly not here to talk about the 14th Amendment, the U.S. Constitution, the Supreme Court, Donald Trump, nothing like that. In fact, I'm more interested in finding out what's happening in the Caribbean. I'm more interested in telling you what's happening in the Caribbean. In fact, I want to invite you to Grenada. And when you get there, you have to be a part of the Riders e-bike excursions and tours. Now, every Sunday, we take you out on a trail inside of Grenada. Best opportunity to see the interior of the island. But if you don't want to get that adventurous and you want to go on your own thing, you could walk into the Esplanade Mall, nice mall, as soon as you get off the cruise ship in St. George and rent an e-bike. And you could ride around the tongue of St. George for the entire day. Low price, great price, excellent fare. Now, this is more important than any 14th Amendment, guys. I'm telling you. When you come to Grenada, you check out Riders e-bike excursions and tours. Yeah, Riders e-bike excursions and tours. Even if you stayed in the hotel, we'll get you your e-bike. So you could go to the beach or night out, whatever it is. Check us out inside the Esplanade Mall. You could even call us at 473-422-1011. That's 473-422-1011. Riders e-bike excursions and tours. Get with the program. 14th Amendment, Donald Trump. I just don't want to talk about that.
Everybody got the gloves? All right. Yeah, guys, again, you can book your excursion. This is not supposed to piss you off. This is supposed to make you feel happy. Let me also take this opportunity to pick up Sheba Sunshine Daycare Center. Guys, this is a unique daycare center, right? This is unique. Catch this, guys. Catch this. Yes, listen to this. This is a 24-hour daycare. This is a 24-hour daycare. All right? From 3 months old, you could bring your child to a safe and affordable daycare. 24 hours a day, they're available. They're located on H.A. Blaze Street. For more information, you can call 473-537-8299. That's Sheba's Sunshine Daycare Center in Grenada here. Open 24 hours from 3 months old. We provide a safe and loving environment for. They have the early morning care from 6:30, after care from 2:30 to the overnight. Weekend, date night. You want to take your husband, your wife out on a date. You don't want nobody to watch your child. Call Sheba. Again, the number is, save it in your phone. You're going to need it. 473-537-8299. That's 473-537-8299. Give her a call now. Save the number in your phone. And thank me later. Thank me later.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money day.
Yeah. Guys, also, I got to remind you that, take this one off of the screen. Big money bingo happening in New York. $10,000 big money bingo. And wow, yeah. 473 Global Entertainment and Rampoon Radio presents the $10,000 bingo. And guys, the first game it starts at 6 p.m. Tickets only $50. $50. You could win up to $10,000 in the big money bingo in New York City. Don't miss this one. All right? Also, got to tell you quickly about Geneva's Cottage. Listen, if you're in Grenada and you want a place to stay, you're in Grenada and you want a place to stay, you have no excuse. I'm telling you, this place is close to all amenities. It's close to all amenities. It's close to the beach. It's close to the mall. It's close to Grenada. It's close to the airport. Call Geneva's Cottage right here in Grenada. Guys, if you're interested and you want to try this place out, you got to call and mention Ride Along Live. Just mention Ride Along Live and you'll see the sweet discount you're getting. Geneva's Cottage, powering up the Ride Along session here tonight. Guys, we also got to big up JetBlue. JetBlue flying to Grenada. You got to fly with JetBlue. JetBlue now have 2 flights per day from JFK to Grenada. Fly JetBlue online at jetblue.com. That's jetblue.com.
Ministry of Tourism and Economic Development and the Grenada Tourism Authority extend a warm welcome to visitors and returning nationals visiting for Carnival and summer vacation. We do hope you enjoy your stay with us, and we invite you to return with friends and family to celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence on 7th February 2024. Tourism is my business, your business, our business.
Big up. Again to the GTA. They're doing such a great job. I came down on a flight, guys, and it was full. And it wasn't even a celebration week or a celebration day or anything at all. It was just a regular day, flying down the plane full. So big up to the GTA for doing such an amazing job, and for JetBlue for accommodating, providing these excellent flights. We also have one from Boston, so if you're in the Boston area, you also check out JetBlue on Saturday. All right, American Airlines, JetBlue, they're all flying down to Grenada. Check it out, guys. If you're coming in for Carifta, Ride Excursion has some really nice excursion for Carifta. If you're coming down for Carifta, book your Carifta special now. Guys, in relation to the topics that we spoke about today, right? These crimes that happen, it really puts a negative light or shine a negative light on the country. No doubt about it. But to say that it, over time, would prevent people from coming into this beautiful island, I really sincerely doubt it. Because everybody already know that these type of things are very sporadic. They are very sporadic. It don't happen all the time. Hopefully, guys, that this does not become a regular occurrence. This doesn't become, which I don't think it will be, because our DNA is not, that's not in our DNA. But in every bunch of apple, there's some bad ones everywhere you go, right? So you would find sporadic things happening, but I don't think in general sense that it will deter people from coming into this beautiful land. They continue to pour in by the hundreds and the thousands by the cruise ships. Tomorrow there are 2 cruise ships coming in and 2 flights coming in from New York, and I'm sure one coming in from England, and you know, it's people are coming in droves. And of course, this Spice Mass season is going to be probably one of the biggest Spice Mass season. So the Caribbean is open for business. Grenada is open for business. Tell your friends about it. We all need to be ambassadors of this beautiful rock. All right, guys, that's my time right here. Thanks to our production crew and our senior executive producer, Lois JJ. For all our team in the behind the scenes, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Good night, everyone. Soul Vibes, the radio. Thank you so much, my brother. Don't forget, guys, you could go ahead and book your excursion at Riders. Let me spell it out. DRS, ridersebike.com. Click that link, or you could call. The number that you call if you want to book your excursion for this weekend is 422-1011. 422-1011. That's the number right here. You could call right now. Blow up the phone lines. Where the phone? Call up the phone lines, guys. Call up the phone lines. Oh, we already got a few calls. Nice. All right, cool, guys. So we're looking nice for this weekend. Remember, if you have a family or friend, you could also, you know, gift them a ride. Give them a ride with Ride Excursion. Call 473-422-1011. Good night, everyone. Catch you again tomorrow. Peace out.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up. Several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true. Up it.